All right. Hello and happy Wednesday, everybody. I am Julie Hodge. It is 12:30 here on Wednesday. What's the date today? April the 27th. A few more days and we're already into May, which is going to be an exciting month. And if I have time, I'll share more about May with you. But for those of you who are going to be joining me live, maybe in and out, it is kind of lunchtime midweek here. Or those of you who are going to watch this on the replay, maybe you're watching this as part of my free women's training series on my balanceyourhormones.online website. Welcome to whomever and whenever you are watching this. My name is Julie Hodge. I am the owner of Julie Hodge Fitness. And for 31 years, I have been very blessed to do what I love to do, to be my own boss and to support hundreds of women now in finding their healthiest self from the inside to the outside. So I am a certified nutrition coach, certified personal trainer, and a hormone-based fitness specialist. And my niche is working with women who are approaching or in perimenopause to start to understand why what used to work is no longer working and what lifestyle changes that can be made to help you feel more comfortable and at home and happy once again in your body and in your life. So today, as part of our live Wednesday webinar, I'll be sharing with you some signs of hormonal weight gain and what you can start to do to stop it naturally. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure we are live. And yes, we are good. I'm streaming live onto YouTube and into our Fit Over 40 group. So I'm hoping that if I have time, I'm going to also click over and share with you 9 foods to fight hormonal imbalance as well. Okay. So we're going to talk about 9 superfoods. I should be able to get through this part relatively quickly. And if you have watched any of my previous trainings, whether it's cortisol, insulin, belly fat, how to lose it, the truth about food, whatever it might be, you'll notice a theme. Because quite often I talk about some of the same few hormones, particularly when it comes to that stubborn weight gain that just won't budge, or that you're doing all the right things, but you're still gaining weight. So today, this webinar is for you if, despite eating clean, healthy, you are still gaining weight, okay, or not losing any. And bear in mind, losing weight on the scale is not the same as losing inches. So I'd really like for you to think about transforming your body in terms of the size of it rather than the weight of it. Okay, that's a new concept. So don't be so concerned with the weight of the scale, but rather the size and shape of your body as it changes. It's for you if you are moody frequently. Maybe your sex life is dead and buried. It's 5 feet under. All right, you want to bring it back? This is for you. If you are stressed, chronic stress, okay, you've got a lot of allostatic stress happening in your life, which is stress from all sources, family, your health, relationships, career, what have you. Maybe you are finding that all you want to do is sleep. You wake up in the morning, you're still tired. You want to sleep. You're sleeping more often. You're still not feeling rested and you're craving sugar. These are just a few signs and symptoms that of hormonal weight gain, but I'm going to help you navigate how you can start to reverse that, okay? So despite eating all the healthy foods, maybe you're gaining weight. You're moody frequently, quite often, especially as we start entering that normal perimenopause part of our life. Moods change, hormones are going crazy in the background. So we'll talk about that as well, all right? And then usually that rapid, I'm just going to go back to that rapid weight gain, all right, ladies, usually occurs around the belly. That's usually where most women in perimenopause start to kind of feel it. You don't need to be 40 or over 40 to be in perimenopause. In fact, your hormones can start changing early. Some women begin this process early on in their 30s, but it doesn't have to be a sentence. As I've said repeatedly through every single training I've done, perimenopause is not a sentence. You can navigate it with grace and ease and optimal health. You can avoid the dreaded middle-age spread, so to speak. But if you find it happening, I'm here to help you, okay? So the kind of rapid weight gain, like I said, usually occurs around the waist and in the belly area. So you could still be eating clean, but packing on the belly fat. And if that is the case, it's time to start to look at your hormones. You could also be very moody, as I mentioned, okay? You might notice, and let me just change my screen view here. You may notice that your emotions are up and down. Okay, one day you're happy, the next day you're sad, and it can change at the drop of a hat. All right, that could be some hormonal changes going on. Chances are your moods have been affected by your hormones, and they can be up and down, okay? And again, they can affect younger women and older women. There's no specific age written in stone for when these hormonal changes will or are happening. Let's also talk about the sex drive. Okay, so like I said, if your sex life feels like it's dead and buried and 5 feet under, this could be a combination of estrogen and testosterone. Estrogen and testosterone, they're the libido control. Okay, they control your libido. They also affect your waistline. And there are several studies, many of which I quote at the end of this presentation, that show how hormonal imbalances can lead to low sex drive. Okay, also chronic stress, and we'll get to that. Research has shown that women who are experiencing a lot of weight gain and increased visceral fat do have hormones that are out of whack. And when visceral fat, I mean the fat that you can't pinch. Okay, not the kind you can pinch between your fingers, the kind that is inside, under your skin, and surrounding your internal organs. Another thing that can happen is you're stressed. Okay, and huge, I see that are responsible for secreting cortisol. Okay? That's our fight or flight stress hormone. Okay, it does play an important, pivotal, and critical role in regulating our body's metabolism, managing inflammation, regulating blood sugar levels. Okay, so 3 really, really important things. When we are too stressed, so when we have not said, see you later, I'm dumping this and making time for myself and prioritizing my life, ditching the job I hate, whatever it might be, when we are too stressed, the adrenal glands are going to produce more cortisol in our bodies. And those high cortisol levels mean increased appetite generally, okay? High blood sugar levels, and of course, belly fat. All right. So the other thing I mentioned is you may be feeling like you want to sleep more. Okay. So if you're increasing belly fat or you can't lose the weight, you might find you're getting tireder. This is why. So if you find yourself constantly wanting to nap or waking up in the morning, and I was here a few years ago, counting down the hours until you can get back into the bed, okay, this is either a poor sleeping pattern, which can lead to many other health effects, which could be killing your sex drive as well and increasing your appetite. But when we look at sleep, okay, how it affects us, quality sleep. And by that, I mean, you could is actually deep. That's the first question. When you lack that deep quality sleep, it affects 3 main hormones, other 3 main ones. So cortisol, of course, the stress hormone, leptin, which is the hormone responsible for making you feel satisfied when you eat. Okay. And 3, ghrelin, which is the opposite to leptin, which is the hormone that helps make you feel hungry. This means you'll find yourself feeling more stressed, eating more, which leads to more rapid weight gain. All right. And then another thing that can start to happen is, of course, you're craving more sugar. So if that is you, we'll have a listen, make some notes if you need to. It's natural to want a donut or a cookie or a piece of pie, whatever, now and then. And that's part of enjoying life, right? We want to taste the sweetness, enjoy and savor that yummy treat. Okay. That's normal. However, if you can barely function without that sugar fix, if you are, let's say, emotionally craving it, if you cannot stop thinking about when you get the next sugar fix, if in the afternoon that's all you want is like sugar, 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 and that can take the form of things like chips as well. It doesn't necessarily need to be candy. Okay, they're both carbohydrates that break down into simple sugars and a lot of simple chain sugars in these treats. If you can't go through the day or you're focusing about it or obsessing that sugar, that can be caused by hormonal issues as well as, like I said previously, poor sleep, lack of sleep quality, okay, and also stress. It's like a big circle. They're all kind of connected. So chances are, if this is the case, if you're experiencing those sugar cravings, you may be dealing with a certain level of leptin resistance. Again, leptin, the hormone responsible for making you feel full. Okay, so if that hormone is not doing its job, you're not feeling full, you're not feeling satiated, give me all the sugar, give me all the complex carbs or the simple carbs. Okay, so let's move on because I really want to get to those 9 foods to help you with hormonal balance here. And then leptin, of course, a little more than that, is responsible for regulating your appetite. And this is what I see a lot. I do believe there's a little more leptin imbalance out there. It tells our brain when we've had enough to eat. So when our brain ignores leptin signals, we have leptin resistance. Okay. Leptin resistance leads to weight gain. So you want to maybe talk to your doctor, your functional medical practitioner, maybe your naturopath, if you do not feel full ever, despite eating big meals. Okay. And before that, take a note, take notes, keep a journal. I always recommend, especially if you have like a lot of dynamic things going on, keep a journal. Because when we're in the midst of our hurricane, it's really hard to see all the different things going on. But when we start and observe the data that's happening, I'm not sleeping good. When's the last time I remember having like a night filled with really vivid dreams? Vivid dreams, incidentally, can happen in those deeper REM states. And we want the deeper REM states of sleep. Okay. So start to journal things and see like, what are you eating? How do you feel after it? What's your energy in the morning? What's your energy at night? Are you getting sugar cravings? How is your sleep? Keeping track of this stuff can help when you go to speak to your doctor, your naturopath, so you can start to make correlations and draw lines from this to that, if that makes sense. Okay. So many people do not feel full even after eating, big meals, nutritious meals. You could be dealing with that leptin resistance, and of course, insulin imbalance as well. Okay. So if you're experiencing sugar cravings, sudden weight gain, you lack focus and clarity, you have a lot of mind fog, the insulin level in your blood may be too high. If you are concerned about insulin, bring that up to your doctor or your naturopath as well. Okay. But there are other reasons, of course, aside from the ones I just covered, of why you could be gaining weight despite those efforts to either lose it or maintain where you're at. Okay. So let's start with unhealthy eating habits. So we've got a little stat here. According to the AHA, which is the American Heart Association, lots of foods that are saturated with the nice sea salt kind, but the highly processed sodiums and sugar-laden food are not healthy for you. And for women, we should be limiting those added sugars to 24 grams a day or less. And I know some women that get that much sugar from one drink, okay, or 2 or 3 coffees alone in a day. Men, I believe it's 38 or so, but for women, 24 grams or less of added sugars a day is our go-to goal, okay, to avoid some of those unwanted side effects. So instead of reaching for the food items that have all the trans fats and the sodiums and the sugars, try instead, right, to eat foods that are higher in protein and higher in fiber, because that combination is going to help you feel fuller, longer, and the protein will support you with things like sleep and helping to rebalance hormones. Food is medicine. It can be if we use it appropriately, okay? Also, another reason is you could be eating too many calories. So for example, let's say, dietary fat, we need dietary fat. I like to say, 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon of a dietary fat serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We run into some problems though when that serving becomes 2 to 3 servings more than we need in each meal. That's just one example, okay? Or, grabbing a handful of nuts here and grabbing a handful of nuts there, or maybe a couple pieces of cheese here and there. And before you know it, all of that kind of automatic, kind of non-conscious snacking is adding up to a heck of a lot more energy than your body is actually for all of its automated processes, for breathing, inspiration, for just general living, for your fitness activities, for moving around during the day. So you may want to keep a food diary to track what it is you're eating, how much you're eating, and when you're eating through the day to, again, get out of the hurricane and step back as an observer and actually be able to look at the data. Okay. So tracking what you eat can also, like I said, be very helpful, but it can also be very triggering. So consider whether or not the benefit of doing so is going to be there for you or not. And you might also just consider mindful eating instead. And I want to give you a little tip that I would recommend using the hunger scale, looking through the hunger scale guide and using the hunger scale. There's a green zone that we can apply to daily life for how hungry we are and how full we are. Generally, even for those of us who may be emotional eaters or have some sort of a disordered eating, using the hunger scale can be a game changer. It brings consciousness and awareness to how we're feeling and what is happening either before we eat and after we eat. Okay, so that's just a little tip for you. But another reason that we could be gaining weight in addition to unhealthy eating habits, and in addition to too many calories. I think I'm freezing up here, guys, so just give me a second. Thank you, Telus, for the stop. This can be triggering, okay? But one too many cocktails, or like I like to say, drinking empty calories. Alcohol once in a while, like sweets, cookies, chocolate bars, what have you, is a yummy treat. It's normal to want these things once in a while. The problem lies when we overdo it, and it becomes the rule rather than the exception. Alcohol is full of empty calories. A vodka, soda, or a rum and coke, or whether it's diet or not, has absolutely zero nutritional value. It's not like a protein bar that may have some added sugar, but at least has protein as your macronutrient to support you. They're empty. They do nothing for you except turn on the fire alarm in your body that says, warning, warning, alcohol, alcohol. We need to take all of our resources to get rid of it. Okay. So a lot of alcohol makes it harder for you to, number one, lose weight. It also makes it harder once your inhibitions are lowered to say no to another one, to say no to the treats, to say no to the food choices that you wouldn't normally make, knowing how they affect you. Okay. And all of these factors can lead to weight gain. So if you don't think that one or two drinks every single night matters, so my advice is, instead of cold turkey, start slow. Start saying, okay, when that becomes doable, I'm going to reduce 2 days a week. Maybe just have one instead of two, or 1.5 instead of two. Okay. Start slow, make it a habit. So you start getting comfortable with it, and then it becomes just a lifestyle. Okay. Or pick and choose. Maybe once a week you have a couple drinks, and that's something that helps you stay on track the rest of the week. But just be aware, it doesn't just apply to alcohol. In fact, anything, if we're drinking, our calories can add up. That can be, calories from milk, even, for example. That can be calories from the special latte you get at Starbucks, or the double at Tim Hortons. So drinking your calories, one of the best ways to start kind of losing a little bloat, trimming down your tummy, and balancing your blood sugar and your insulin, is just to stop drinking any caloric beverages, with a caveat. That doesn't mean replacing them with artificially sweetened pops, like diet this, diet that, because those can be even more detrimental to your health with all of those chemicals. But that's a topic for another day. Okay. So look at what you're drinking and avoid drinking empty calories. Another one, of course, is lack of exercise. Okay. So whether you know it or not, we have what's called, a basic metabolic need. So we need basic energy from food to keep our bodies alive, even if all we did was lay in bed all day with our eyes closed like this. We still need energy, even to survive and maintain the function of our organs. Okay, keep our heart beating and all that stuff. Now, imagine you eat more energy than you need to lay there and do nothing. Over time, that energy is not being utilized in the body. That's bad. Okay. So what you want to do is get more activity. If you ate the same way you're eating right now, but started to exercise 1 or 2 days a week from not exercising at all, and you don't change how you eat, you're automatically creating an energy deficit. Okay. Because you're doing more and you're outputting more energy, but you're still eating the same. So lack of exercise can be huge. So you want to get some more movement. Our bodies were made to move. In May, actually, in our group, we're all about being made to move. May's theme is made to move. But if we're eating and not burning those excess calories, that can lead to that extra weight gain. Okay. So consider adding movement to your daily life. That can just be getting up once a day and going for like a 10-minute walk. 10 minutes before you know it is over. It's quick. Getting up and walking around your neighborhood once, a couple times a day, or getting up and walking if you work downtown, getting up and doing one big loop around your, your city block, whatever that might be. Okay. That's an easy way to start getting more movement. You can go and dance, walk, jog, clean the house, whatever you're doing to move more than you had been will be beneficial to your body. And then finally, talking about vitamin D deficiency. Okay. So some studies have shown a big link between obesity and vitamin D deficiency. Okay. And of course, getting more vitamin D won't make you magically just, melt off the extra weight, But if you do think you're deficient, talk to your doctor, your naturopath, or your functional practitioner about proper supplementation for you. Being where we live, where I live here in Okotoks, we don't get a lot of sunlight or really, really warm days as someone down in Phoenix may get. So every single day for me personally, I take a supplement that has vitamin D in it. And I always do. This is my proactive supplementation. But there is definitely that correlation, as well as a deficiency often might mean that you're kind of getting more run down. You might pick up all the colds and whatever. Okay. So look into that. That's a biggie, biggie. Lots of research around vitamin D. All right. So those were some tips or some reasons why we do. Let's look at some tips about what we can do about hormonal weight gain, which is pretty much the opposite of what causes it. So the first thing, and the thing I'll be actually talking more on, is chill out, dump stress, dump it wherever you can. So looking at all the spots in your life where you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, and think, how can I reframe this? Or how can I make this more manageable? Or how can I get rid of this thing that's creating so much anxiety? I dread thinking about it. I dread doing it. Chill out, because as your body is stressed, it's producing excess cortisol to help alleviate the stress. It's why cortisol is called the stress hormone. This chronic stress over time can lead to weight gain, insulin resistance, among other issues. So your first step, numero uno, ladies, if you are dealing with hormonal weight gain that is unchecked, that is happening no matter what you try to do, look at your stress and dump it. That might mean adding meditation at the end of the day. It might mean literally taking your phone and scheduling 15, 20, 30 minutes of you time a day, even to sit in a room and just breathe. Okay. It may mean some boundaries with people, friends, family. It may mean delegating tasks, getting somebody else to help out with one of the many things that you do and giving that to someone else to take care of. Okay. It might mean getting to bed earlier so you can handle that stress, which leads me into the number 2, which is get some rest. Okay. So if you have poor sleeping habits, now is the time to work on it. This is the secret sauce of hormone health is sleep. And people who sleep less than what their body needs and are getting less than that deep REM sleep are shown to have higher body mass indexes. So you really want to get 7 or 8 hours or whatever that might be. For you, it might be 9.5. Okay. Solid sleep a night. This is where you try to have uninterrupted in a dark room, no bright lights, no blue lights, no distractions, solid uninterrupted sleep. Okay. This will help to regulate your hormones, help you return to a more healthy rhythm with your cortisol levels, with leptin and ghrelin levels that we talked about previously, and all of that. Okay. And it'll help your brain get that needed rest and reset. Okay. Your hormones back in working order with quality sleep. Okay. And I want you to start eating less sugar. So again, for women, 24 grams or less, just going to take a sip of water here. 24 grams or less of added sugars a day. Now that's not, looking at, oh my gosh, I can't have more than 1 apple. That's the added sugars in addition to the real food you're eating. So when trying to regulate our hormones, there's no room for blood sugar spikes. Okay. A low glycemic or low GI diet packed with foods that take longer to turn into sugar is a great way to start that journey towards taming weight gain. Women who gain a hormonal belly due to, for example, PCOS have also shed extra belly fat by consuming less sugar. It's huge. Okay. Sugar can create inflammation. It can create insulin resistance, among many other things. So look at how much sugar you're having. And again, back to drinking, caloric beverages and alcohol. If you're consuming a lot of excess sugar from the drinks that you have, look at how you can minimize that so that you can remove all of that excess sugar, 24 grams or less a day. Okay. So as we eat less sugar, consume more protein and more fiber at the same time. Okay. So with your protein source, that's going to go along to balancing blood sugar, to helping with you having deeper, more quality sleep, to helping stop those afternoon crashes and cravings. Okay. This protein fiber is a winning combination for dealing with rapid weight gain. And most women don't have enough of it, you'd be surprised at how much makes a huge difference. So that's huge. And of course, like I just said, drink less alcohol. It truly does have more of a devastating effect on our hormones, particularly as we age, and can really, really be damaging to even bone density. Okay, so really look at that. And if you want true change, make a list of all the ways that you can really look at making that true change in your life using these tips and maybe some of the foods that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. So hormonal weight gain again, try ditching the alcohol for a month. All right. Make it sober May. Okay. I may not drink in May, and see how you feel from day 1 to day 30. What's changed in your belly? Did you gain more weight? Did you lose a little bit? Did you lose inches? Did you stay the same? Okay. Get yourself the data. Talk about hormone balancing foods, because this is the fun part too. Because you want to know, what do I eat then? So your diet has a significant role in hormone health, obviously. When hormones like storing too, or you can be in a pre-diabetic state and develop type 2 diabetes. So the good news, regularly eating high fiber foods can help resolve this. Regularly swapping high GI foods for lower, more moderate GI foods can help this as well. Buy and eat more hormone balancing foods like your lean proteins, chickpeas, broccoli, all those nummy, very brightly colored vegetables, berries, what have you. And I'm going to talk about some of those foods quickly here for you. I'll just quickly run through them in a second here. But while our food intake can lead to weight gain, so too, okay, I find extra belly fat is the result of hormone imbalances, stress, lack of sleep, and that can also lead to the gain. So it's not just food's fault, and quite often it's not at all. All right. And just as eating too much, so too can eating too little. This is why it's nice to work with someone who really can help you tune in and rein that in and understand, how much should I be eating? Okay. Chances are your hormonal weight gain can be tackled by those lifestyle changes I mentioned. Okay. So try eating more healthful foods, looking at reducing those added sugars every single day, not drinking your calories, getting better quality sleep, priority number 1, and managing your stress by dumping it, delegating it, really cutting out that which is truly no longer serving your life, mental health, or physical health. And on that note, I'm going to switch over here to give you foods. Here we go, to help us fight hormonal weight gain. I'm just going to run through them because it's been about 27 minutes since I've been yapping. So yummy avocados. So let's talk about those. So dealing with unwanted weight problems. Okay, hormonal weight gain, unwanted weight. Wanting to maybe just change our body composition a little, less around the belly. Okay, losing some visceral fat. Often, like I just talked about, our hormones are to blame. So here are some of the symptoms you may be experiencing to tell you that your hormones need a little bit of TLC and more support. Rapid weight gain, especially belly, hips, thighs. Difficulty losing weight, even though you're regularly exercising and eating good. Anxiety, big. Craving carbohydrates and sugar. Depression, mood swings, fatigue, a tanked sex drive, hair loss or thinning hair, dry, crepey skin. It just doesn't look plump and moist and healthy, okay? Heavy period flow, like extra super heavy than you're used to. Insomnia, PMS, endometriosis, and PCOS as well are included. And symptoms, well, there it is, of polycystic ovary syndrome in women. So we got acne, excess hair, etc. Okay. So apart from reproductive health, hormones also affect irritable. We can even experience bowel movements that are out of order. Okay. They can be the uncomfortable kind, whether it's excess liquidy bowel movements or not enough of any bowel movements. Okay. And on top of that, we just spoke of hormonal weight gain, but you might also experience unexplained weight loss. So let's talk about some power foods we can implement into our life if you haven't already. Some you may know, some you won't. I talk at length about protein and its function, okay? So protein is huge because it influences leptin and ghrelin that I spoke about as being influencers on hunger and fullness. Those two things can be out of whack when you're unable to lose weight or you're really experiencing a lot of hormonal weight gain, okay? And then complex carbohydrates. So complex and high fiber carbs help to stabilize blood sugar levels And like I said, they are a winning combination when paired with lean protein sources, whether animal based, which are complete proteins, or plant based, where you can get a variety of different plant foods to create that balance. Okay. They often reduce the levels of cortisol in our body. High fiber carbs are essential because, unlike refined carbs, think simple sugar carbs, okay? Short glucose chains in a refined carb, long glucose chains in a complex carb. That's your layperson explanation. If it's a long chain, it takes a lot longer to break down, less insulin all at once. Short chain, we need all that insulin. Okay, so it breaks down very easy. It needs lots of insulin because it's got a job to do. Okay, I hope that helps. So high fiber carbs are essential because, unlike those refined, simple, short chain glucose carbs, fiber does not break down in the body. So that means that fiber is not converted to sugar. It means your blood sugar levels don't spike as much as they would with other carbs. So you've got the healthy lean protein. You've got a really great fiber source here. Winning combination. Insulin levels, blood sugar levels, you name it. Stress, okay, cravings, the whole 9 yards. And we'll get into certain foods as soon as I talk about fat. So dietary fat, these are the natural, high quality dietary fat sources that will help reduce insulin resistance in your body. They will also help curb your appetite. So here's a little saying, I don't know if you've heard it, but to burn fat, you need to eat fat, okay? Fat is not a 4-letter word, it's 3. And dietary fat, there are many sources of good for you fats. Don't eliminate them from your diet altogether. You need a serving of fat, at least breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? Not only that, but fat allows you to feel much more sated once you do eat, okay? And it goes a long way preventing overfeeding and controlling weight gain. So we've got protein, fiber, fat, those winning combinations of all those macronutrients. So what foods are they? Here it is. So these are the provided you can eat them. Some people can't deal with some of these. And this is, of course, the caveat being, unless you have a resistance or these foods disturb your belly for whatever reason. Okay. Eggs, number 1, rich in protein. They've been shown to affect ghrelin and insulin production positively. Fatty fish, okay? Things like herring, sardines, wild-caught salmon, mackerel, trout. They've all been shown to stabilize hunger hormones. Again, those hunger hormones, okay, ghrelin, allowing you to feel fuller for longer. They're also rich in vitamin D. And if you remember, vitamin D, not having enough vitamin D can also be one of those causes of weight gain, all right? So vitamin D is also essential in managing female testosterone levels. There's today's FYI. When female testosterone levels are improved, second FYI, deep REM sleep helps boost testosterone production, men and women. It can lead to slower weight gain, less fatigue, and lower depression levels. So you have less weight gain, you have more energy to do things. You feel like doing it because you're not so tired all the time. And you're not as depressed, so you feel motivated and more inspired to do things like exercise, okay? That's 3.5 ounces twice can go a long way in keeping your heart healthier, hair and your skin looking better, okay? Additionally, the good fats in fish are essential for proper hormone communication. And way back, I talked about hormones. If you think of male, hormones are kind of like the messenger, right? And they help send that message to another hormone, which sends it to another hormone. Okay. So if there's no mailbox there, those hormones aren't getting to where they need to go. So we really want that communication to be happening. So you've got eggs, all right? We've got fatty, natural fatty wild fish, chicken breast. Okay. It's another food super high in protein. My personal FYI here is, for me, I always buy organic chicken. That's me. Okay. I don't want the extra stuff, but always organic for me. We live where we live here in Okotoks, lots of farms around. Try to find locally sourced chicken, get to be friends with a farmer, right? You might hook yourself up with some great organic chicken and not have to pay those higher prices at the supermarket. But chicken breast is great for anabolic hormones, okay? Building hormones like insulin and estrogen. Anabolic means like building, okay? Creating. In this way, it helps the building of muscles after workouts as well, which is why it's a fan fave for people who, want to have that nice lean muscle. And it's easy. You can boil chicken, you can bake chicken, you can grill chicken. You can put chicken in an air fryer. You can throw it in a casserole, And then leafy greens. I'm talking things like kale, spinach, collard greens, sweet chard. Incidentally, all of these greens, which I grow in my tower garden, amazingly 5 days a year, packed full of antioxidants. Okay. These are essential for the prevention of inflammation. So, what you can do to really love your body, of course, besides eating protein and fiber, eat more leafy greens, right? Get better sleep and keep those sugar grams to 24 grams or less a day of added sugars. The inflammation will thank you as it reduces. Joints will feel better, okay? Particularly if you have burning joints or you already have any itis, bursitis, arthritis happening in your body. You really want to look at that. Eating leafy greens is also shown to reduce stress by lowering cortisol levels and helping rebalance estrogen levels. They are high in fiber, okay? So fibrous vegetables are key to, personally, a nice, happy, healthy, long life. Fiber, fiber, fiber. Nice leafy greens, lots of good vegetables in your diet. I'd say 3 to 5 cups a day if you're looking for a recommendation, okay? Try to eat about 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day to help support your hormones. So just be aware, 25 to 35 grams. You won't go wrong if you eat more than that. Okay, those are kind of your minimum standards. So we've got eggs, chicken, greens, cruciferous vegetables. So these are some of my favorites. So Brussels sprouts, broccoli. Personally, broccoli is my fave. Just like leafy greens, these also help remove excess estrogen from the body. And in one of my nutrition webinars, I did go into a little bit more detail that having excess estrogen in your body, your cruciferous veggies are friends, okay? Because you want those friends to help clear out that excess estrogen. If it's not being removed from your body, where's it going? It's staying in your body. That can cause more visceral belly fat accumulation, weight gain, etc. All right. They also come packed with essential nutrients like calcium. All right. High calcium content can help reduce and relieve PMS symptoms and help to regulate mood swings. Food is medicine. Quinoa, both a protein, complete by the way, and a gluten-free carbohydrate naturally, has a high protein content that can stabilize your blood sugar levels. It's essential then for supporting your testosterone levels combined with sleep, win-win, and it contains phosphorus and magnesium. Many women have deficiencies not only in vitamin D, like I mentioned, but also magnesium. So quinoa, get that. Throw it in your shakes, throw it in your salads, have it as a veggies in your healthy fat. And then flax seeds. They contain plant-based estrogens, mostly lignans, that promote hormonal balance, believe it or not. They also offer menstrual support. There's a reason they're so popular, okay? Flax seeds are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and fiber. So much. It's like a superfood, okay? Again, throw it in your smoothie. Throw it in your overnight oatmeal. Throw it in sauces, okay? The fiber in flax seeds is an excellent probiotic as well. And it's insoluble, making it exactly what you need to encourage bowel movements, okay? Because it's not going to break down. It's going to act as that, like I tell my 6-year-old daughter, when I try to get her to eat all these foods, it acts as a brush, just like we brush our hair so it's nice and shiny. That is a brush for your intestines to get in there and clean out all the gunk, okay? While helping remove excess estrogens because of that awesome fiber content, okay? Yeah, it'll help with your hormone balance, detoxification of excess hormones, and so much more. So flax seeds, toss a few handfuls. Like I said, oatmeal or smoothies every day, a couple tablespoons. And then let's talk about number 8 and number 9, which are the 9 foods to help you fight hormonal weight gain. And I apologize because my computer is very slow. Thank you, Tella. Talk about this. Avocados and nuts. Okay. How many people watching didn't like avocados as a child but love them now, or vice versa? I used to not like them and I love them now. Again, They are packed with such goodness and vitamins, nutrients, and something called beta sitosterol, which has been shown to improve blood cholesterol levels and balance cortisol. Again, this is one of those healthy dietary fat sources that I spoke of earlier. It can also influence estrogen and progesterone production. So avocado. And then finally, nuts. Now, I'm going to make a caveat and say raw, plain nuts. And most nuts are better if they're stored in a cool, dry place or even in the fridge. Okay. So the good fats from nuts, all right, aid hormone production while also boosting blood vessel health. That's really important, especially as we age. They also help lower cholesterol and insulin levels while positively impacting your overall endocrine system, which is your hormonal system, and maintaining optimum blood sugar levels. So all nuts are good for you. And again, choose raw, natural nuts. They don't need to be sugared or oiled or any of that stuff, okay? Brazil nuts, though, are really a great source of selenium, which is essential in ensuring great overall thyroid health, okay? Walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acid, inflammatory properties, as making them great for things like good brain health, and almonds too. Very high protein and antioxidant levels. So instead of, again, just be cognizant and mindful that instead of, grabbing a handful here through the day and a handful there, have, little ounce, baggies of nuts, keep them in your car, at your desk, in the fridge for little snacks. A great thing you can pair, an ounce of nuts with an apple. That's a great winning combination right there. So just try not to overdo it, because a gram of fat has 9 calories, whereas a gram of protein and carbohydrates have 4. So fat sources have double the amount plus. They're good for you. But again, you want to keep that energy balance in mind as well. Not so much calorie, but just that overall energy balance. Don't overdo it. Okay. So there you go, guys. Those were like 9 great foods to help you fight hormonal weight gain. And of course, if you didn't already know, with the VIP Hormone Flip program for people over 40 or approaching 40, you get all these tools. You get the food, you get the fitness, you get the coaching, you get the one-on-one. We learn all of this stuff for long-term healthy lifestyle habits. Maybe you need a little support now and then. Book yourself a discovery call. Let's chat about it. I'm here to help you understand what happens when our hormones are changing, what hormones might be options, foods, your goal of feeling more at home and comfortable in your body again when things start to go haywire and nothing that used to works anymore. Okay. So those were signs of weight loss, hormonal weight gain, 9 foods that can really help us with natural weight loss techniques, some strategies to looking at stress, to sleep and beyond. Okay. So in May, I have a couple minutes here, 1 minute. In May, just to give you a heads up, I'm going to probably do another quick live to share an update on what's coming in May. Okay, there's some really great stuff. May is all about moving our body. Okay, we're made to move. We're going to dive a little deeper into fitness and movement strategies and stuff throughout the month of May. So if you want to be a part of that, just let me know. I'll be posting more about that as we go. That's happening really soon. This weekend is May. So if you have any questions on this, as always, please hit replay if you're watching the replay. If you're watching live, please type in live. You know what? I've been so focused on getting this information to you today. I haven't even checked to see as I was live if there were comments coming in. So share your comments, share your aha moments, ask me questions, whatever was not answered or anything that left another question for you. I would love to help. All right, guys, or replay in the watching this on Facebook. Have a wonderful day. And I did it. 1 hour and we're done. Wow, less than an hour, 45 minutes. All right, great Wednesday. And I will see you all soon.